Corey Henderson, we're going over to you first with this email that came in. Sean is a real estate agent here in Louisville and has a really big problem. He writes and he says in this email that he got a call from a potential buyer who said that she just won $70 million in a Canada or Canadian lottery and was moving to Louisville. So Sean wanted to see several, she's telling Sean, the agent, she wants to see several $1 million plus homes. Sean asked for proof of funds, which so far doesn't seem to be out of the ordinary because many of the higher priced homes will require listing agents will require proof of funds letters. So be aware of that. And she stated that she had a letter from an accountant. In fact, she apparently sent it to Sean on a real letterhead that stated that this winner of the lottery did in fact have the money. So Sean's concerned that he needs to treat the buyer with respect, yet the pre-approval information may not be legit. And he's wondering what should he do next. He doesn't want to violate any fair housing laws or regulations. It's a good question because we're always worried about stepping over the line. We want to treat everybody fairly, but sometimes there are things that we need that may go beyond what is considered fair. So, Cora, thoughts?
Right. I think that's a great question. So first of all, Sean, I understand you're concerned about it being a major problem, but rest assured, we are here to help you and we can talk through this matter. So as far as it being potential discrimination, I just want to add that fair housing, which is kind of going to be your 7 protected classes plus 1, for instance, because we have a Louisville Metro ordinance that adds an additional class. Those provides laws for those protected classes only. So it's possible that she does not fit into one of those classes, but moreover, that you asking to validate the credentials of her financial capabilities, how, would that potentially violate fair housing? So those are the types of questions that we want to look at when we talk about discrimination actions. But I really want to just pivot and talk more about making sure that you are doing your fiduciary obligations and presenting a potential purchaser properly to a listing agent. Because just as Bob mentioned, it is quite common to present proof of funds, particularly on those $1 million plus types of properties. And I presume if she won the lottery, she's probably going to be a cash buyer. So that also includes additional validity to that cash liquid funds available to purchase. So what are the ways that we can ask for it without potentially inviting any type of discriminating claims against us? One idea might be to go ahead and deposit a substantial earnest money deposit. So let's say she wants to go tour $3 million homes. It sounds as if she may be relocating, for instance, from Canada. So we could have a problem with the availability of funds. So I think it would be fair to ask, let's say a couple million, you want to put down $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 earnest money deposit, whatever might be appropriate for a particular property. Go ahead and have that wired in advance to be sitting over in the real estate brokerage, your broker's account. And that's a good way of knowing, okay, if they're legit and this is not a scam, then I highly doubt they're going to just give me money to sit in the account. So that could help kind of validate their credentials that they are who they say are. Secondly, I would make a phone call to the accountant. I would certainly look them up online, but I would call them and just to verbally verify at a trusted number that they do in fact have that money sitting in the account. Also, Google is a magnificent thing. And if somebody won that much money in the lottery, it might come up, right?
Yeah.
As a potential winner in a name or an entity that she took it in, so on and so forth. So I think there's ways to validate without violating fair housing. And that's okay to do because you are doing your due diligence. If you had not, and you have presented this potential purchaser to a listing, for instance, you had them, this potential fraudster, or if they were a fraudster, sign a contract, then you could get in trouble for that. So it's darned if you do, darned if you don't. So what are the best ways to protect you while maintaining, of course, yourself in good standing with the law? And I think a number of those suggestions would be a good way of doing that.